Hello. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to export a Radiance and a Radiance map into JanusVR. This is for more custom maps instead of what is automatically generated by the program. So, to start, I guess I'll explain it. This is a Radiance map. This is basically the reflection of the environment around wherever you take this. So, if I were to set up a camera in Blender, take an equirectangular image, which is, a cylindrical map, however you call it, but that's what it is. If I were to take one in this particular environment, the reflection would exactly reflect my environment as a whole. So these things would be in the image that I do. So the Radiance map resembles this. This is what a Radiance map looks like. This is a custom one, obviously. Generally speaking, they would kind of reflect a similar environment, just really downscaled resolution, like 64 by 64. In this case, I decided to go with a custom one because it gives me more flexibility to create something that I want. So you'll have like a pinkish and bluish hue on the object on the diffuse. This only affects the diffuse. The radiance affects the specular. Now, how to do this. So what we're going to do is, first off, you need to go to GitHub, this link right here, and get the command line version of CMFT. This just creates the skyboxes that you need. Next, we're going to go and we're going to open up CMD, which is your command line thing for Windows. So there you go. Mine says Mesh Lab Server. Yours will probably say command line or whatever Windows version is. Just a fluke. So next, you're going to go and you're going to change your directory to the location of CMFT. So this location here, this is where my CMFT program is, which is right here. So anyway, that's where it goes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to paste and enter, and it will change the directory to where the exe is. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is explain that these need to be TGA file format. So, you want to pull them into like paint.net or whatever your favorite application is. Save as, equi.tga. Now in this case, if you'll notice, skyboxfolder, etc., this is the location of the image. So in this case, I'm going to save this image because this is my Radiance map, and we're going to do that first. So save as. I've already done this, but let's assume this was a PNG and I'm saving it out as a TGA target format. You can also do HDR. So there we go. And the next thing I will be doing is I will copy this. Now this has all, I will provide a link to this in the description below, but basically this is the options available that Janus uses. You can mess around with this. I would just recommend just copying this straight up. The one caveat you're going to have to change is this file path format. Notice I said earlier the skybox folder. This is the location of the actual TGA, the exact file path. So in this case, equi.tga. Now what I'm going to do, I'll copy this whole line, and I'm going to paste it in here. And it's going to automatically generate. Soon as I didn't have to push enter or anything, I just copy paste, and it's done. Now next, we're going to go in here. We're going to save the IrRadience map out into the same spot, and then we're going to go back. We're going to copy this, and we're going to paste, and it will auto generate. And it's pretty fast to do. Done. And we're going to go in here. We're going to go to the location where it saved these out. Now, I should probably explain that part. So there are two parts on this that you actually need to adjust. This is the export and name. Sorry. So, starting here and going to here, you need to put the path and file name. So the file name for the Radiance map is this, and the file for the eRadiance map is this. This is the location, everything before that, and it's going to save it out as a DDS file, which is it's a pre-computed environmental probe, essentially, a pre-computed MIP mapped environmental probe. That's what these are. Anyway, so all that's done. It saved it out. Here's the names into that folder, and we're going to copy that. We're going to put it in here, and that's where that's going. Now we have the example. So this is the HTML file that Janus is going to use. Now the only stuff in here that you need to pay attention to is basically this asset image. So we load our environmental probes as an asset image, and you call those asset images in the room tag. So you notice the IDs, and then the source is the same as the DDS files. That's the actual location. So you can declare these online, offline, etc. That's just how Janus works. Now the next thing, so you call the ID right here, and it's CubeMap Radiance ID. Now this is the tag that internal Janus uses to define the global environment. And if I wanted to, I could define these on a per item basis by just, you can define more than one set of environmental probes, but I can define them on a per object basis like that. And just, let's just call these, like, let's say there was a second one and just say there are 2, right? But we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to do the global. So all I'm worried about right there for this entire presentation is explaining how to export custom maps. So we'll save that, and then we're going to go in and we're going to first open Janus. One second. So we're going to open Janus. It's going to come up small for now. Then we're going to open up the file. And assuming this works, wow. Okay, I must have done something wrong. 1 second.
Navigating map.
Must have the mesh example wrong, but anyway, you can see that it is now reflecting the skybox. Let me so it's rough, but it's approximately the thing. Now this is the thing, if you define a custom thing, a custom environmental probe, it does not necessarily have to reflect the skybox that you put in. Now the way Janus normally does this is it would create a environmental probe. It uses CMFT in the background essentially to custom create an environmental probe based on the skybox. In our case, we defined one custom, so this is just like a diffuse white ball, and you can notice how it takes a lot more from the IrRadience map as opposed to the Radiance map. And this is obviously a metallized systems, this is metal, so it purely reflects the IrRadience map. Anyway, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. I will include the documentation on a lot of this stuff, and that's about it. Here you go. There's all that. Make sure you change it to the right directories. You copy paste. Make sure that it's either HDR or TGA. You can see here TGA. This is what I'm using. That is it. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.